Oh, look at that food. My date, my food, my view. Usitoke kwa kamera yangu. More. Where? Life. Brunch. Children just relaxing at home. Tita, usijali haitakuonesha. Just finished my breakfast and yeah, coming back home. And I know I've been, I just want to talk about feeling trapped as an immigrant in a foreign country. And this is not the feeling I have right now at my point in life, but it's something I have had at my earlier point in life. So I moved out of Kenya thinking about it almost, this year it's gonna be about 26 years ago. And every freaking year I've been coming back home at least once a year. And certain years I've been privileged, especially in the latter years, to come back twice a year. And recapping my journey, I've always known this time will always come. And when I mean this time will always come is a time that I can easily access stuff like this. I can easily sit in front of my balcony like this and just enjoy the breeze and the look, and more especially the sunshine. Sometimes as an immigrant living in a foreign country, I felt like many a times I was a loser. And I want to say that cautiously. When I say a loser, it's just the aspect that every time I come home and my peers are living the same standards or even better, mostly better standards than I have lived. They have better careers, and I say better here very cautiously too. And I think better for me is they have the same lifestyle I have had now in America. But the only difference is they're not immigrants, they have it right here at home. And over the years, coming back, motivation, and I think, it made me realize, like, however far out you might look, you always gotta return to your inner self. Or if you can't fully return back to your inner self, you at least have to make peace, or get back to your software, or have that capacity to know, like, you can always get back to your software at the flip of a finger or snap of a finger, or whatever idiom you want to make it. But for very many years that's not been the case for me until the past 4 years, that I have had that freedom and that realization and that opportunity that if I wanted to move back home, I can move home. But there's also a lot of complications with that, because 25, 26 years and moving back home, it's something new. And the past years, I have built my life to make that happen. And right now, that's achievable to me. I have a home. I have sets of friends and great friendship, man. Like life is all about family and friends and the people who care about you. Those who don't really matter. And having that just makes it beautiful. And having that in your own motherland, Kenya. Look, it's 2 o'clock and the sun is just so nice and the views are just great. It is just so peaceful, and the food I can, the food that I'm organically used to, the taste, everything is just flamboyant, and the taste, like everything I've dreamt of being Kenyan that I used to take for granted, now it's like diamond. And in my latter days now, this is it, and that's why I can no longer feel trapped in a foreign country that I had for many years, and I can no longer feel trapped to my second country, but now I have a choice to just come back here. And I guess in this, I wanted to talk about a lot of reasons that it got me feeling trapped. It's just a trap in the essence that there's just nothing better as home. And and that just plays that the kind of food, the culture, the people, like everything around you is just different. And you just never have that sense of community and just sense of love and just sense of freedom to just be like, I am free. So that's the physical and environmental aspect part of it. And the second part is just the food. Like being home, like my body just quickly love the taste, the food. It's just so good to have real food again. It's so good to really know how tilapia tastes like. It's so good to really enjoy the taste of cilantro. It's just so good to that. So this is a flight back for train plane takeoff, and mangoes, just everything. It is just so good, and that is something I can never trade with anything else. I don't despise America, but it's certainly different. I don't despise America because that's where my children are. And the only thing that's keeping me there are my babies. But the number three thing is I think my babies are in a position to be able to understand our discussion, even though they might not fully comprehend, but they're in a position to be able to know that this is important for daddy and this is how we can work this. And they're in a position to know that relationships are not automatic and we have to water them, feed them, and that's just a great life training. So that's the number three thing that's put me in the position that I am, and why I am back here and will be for a very long time. And I think the number four thing, relationships. I have had relationships that never valued, you know, me feeling trapped as an immigrant. Never valued the freedom of really letting people be who they are. Like James is only James if James is James, and James cannot acquire Paul or Thomas. But the relationship that I have right now, oh, it's just a revival of no matter how difficult life is, whatever you're going through, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a relationship that recognizes that, you know, you have certain dynamics, and the relationship that really gives you support of fostering and letting you work grow, and a relationship that, you know, you can plant here and plant there. It's not a choosy relationship that's only focused like maybe this is where we want to be for X, Y, and Z. It's a relationship that really ebbs and flows with you and molds, and it just brings the best out of you, and it brings the reciprocation back. Because the kind of relationship that I'm in a relationship with a person who would feel the same way if she was supposed to be here for 25 years. And it's amazing that within 2 years, a little bit over 2 years, we figured that out, and it's not an issue anymore. And it's a relationship that's supposed to be a relationship. And I just was sitting here on a chill day, and I am just so excited for our new adventure and where life has to take us once our baby is here. And I feel like our baby coming up got great parents, and no matter where the love for me and the mother of my kid, you know, my newborn baby coming up, like our baby will always have a parents with the same value and structure. She'll always have a balance between both dad and mom equally, not heavily weighted on one side. And it just makes me Kenyan again. It just makes me African again. And it makes me embrace. Uh, hello? Hello? Yeah, it just makes me embrace life more. And it also makes me make my baby, unborn baby, at the time of this video, you know, being Kenyan and American again, and the mother of my daughter. And it's just a freaking cute balance no matter what happens next week, 2 days from now, next year, 10 years, you know, forever. It just doesn't matter. But I know there's just that one constant standard that we both value and share, and there's just one static respect that we both understand. But the best thing out of it is there's just one key element that we both cherish, and it's in our core. So even in times of war, storm, happiness, like that is just a basic standard. And that's what I found in life. And nothing else matters. As long as we are together, nothing else matters. And and I guess the other nitty gritty stuff that I felt trapped but now accustomed to is just the way of life and the climate, you know. The climate dictates the kind of people, the places you are, and I'm thriving. I'm thriving here, and this is where the future lies. And it might not be a future of my partner being with me here for 25 years, but it's a balance that I still recognize I'm an American, and if I go to America, it's a home, and it's where the mother of my kids is from, and so it's all our home, and it's where my baby's home. But it's also a balance that recognizes that I am Kenyan, I'm African, and when I'm in the African continent, the country Kenya, and my spouse here with me equally feels like she's Kenyan, and she's you know, in a white skin, for lack of better words, she'll feel African. That's the kind of balance I had, and it's just nice, I guess. Yeah, it's been a long journey, but now that we have a home, now that I feel with a home, our dream has been achieved, and all we need is just a roof on our head, and we can feed on love and other physical food that we have here, and we will always be okay. Yeah, and even though I don't deal with immigration problems, issues like I did a couple years back, but then at the time, it wasn't for a sole reason of me wanting to do this kind of, or deal with those kind of paperwork, even though, you know, I have a long journey. I've come a long way, from a young immigrant in the USA, in America, to, a decade plus years, and even prior to that for East Asia. I've always just been an immigrant, and I've always made good of what's available to me. And right now, relationship and ownership of land feels great, and that's been the piece of puzzle that's been missing out. And I'll just say, in my opinion, that's the journey of life. There's nothing wrong with jumping ships 10 times, 20 times, because nobody cares. But I care for my girls, for my love of my life, for my friends, for my family who actually know me and have my phone number, able to call me and be like, yo, James, I saw this and this is me. Any other person who doesn't have that opportunity, you know, it's all a learning process, and nobody can fully understand the day to day other than what we show here, because at the end of the day, we still got a life. I still got a life, and I got a turn and turn of privacy to protect. So even though I have my life on camera, it is not everything. It's just like 2% of what really going on here and what's really going on the physical aspect. So yeah, I guess this video was just that feeling of I no longer feel trapped. I can't say I'm successful enough to, just sit back and enjoy life. But I think when you're grounded, and I am grounded in a great partnership, in a great pillar, with a lot of trials and tribulations and issues to revolve and solve, but we are a team. And yeah, just gonna sit here, enjoy this breeze, use some of this to massage my neck, and just have a good time for the rest of the day. This is the first day I'm really not going to the house and doing stuff. It's an off day for me because I'll be heading back soon to rejoin my family. In 3 days. And that was just the inner feeling I had before I say goodbye, just only for a short time, because you just don't up and leave. And even before you get that cadence, I have to make sure that have a plan.